Hi, this is the Fiery Joker, and it's no secret that I love Team Fortress 2. I mean, how can I not? It's a wacky, well-made shooter that encourages teamwork. It's constantly updated with tons of free content, and best of all, the game itself is free. So naturally, this would be a game that everyone would love, right? Of course not. That's just stupid to think that everyone should like the same things. Some people don't enjoy the humor or art style, the microtransactions turn some people off, or some people just don't enjoy FPSs in general. It's not for everyone. These criticisms are fair, even though I don't agree with them. However, I found one reviewer that goes by the name of Bhaalspawn, and he doesn't like Team Fortress 2 for odd reasons. If you don't know who Bhaalspawn is, well, let me give you a little background. He owns a relatively successful YouTube channel offering his opinion about whatever happens to be on his mind at the time, be it politics, controversies, video games, or just responding to haters. He has a blog that gives drive-by advice, pony stuff with an avatar created by General Zoe, and gaming reviews ripping off the art style of Zero Punctuation, complete with image of avatar sitting at a computer, half-lidded expression of irritation, simple white circular art style, and even a yellow background. Classy. Unfortunately, his opinion to be critiqued is in blog format, so I've asked my good friend Hades to come read out his blog for us.
Good friend, I've never met you before in my life. Or is someone in touch with their inner Satanist?
Hades, you are not Satan. That's just a cultural stigma resulting from Christian influence, causing the comparison of any mythological deity of death to the biblical—
Hush a second, Bill O'Reilly. Oh, did I just step into Zero Punctuation?
Too late, we just went over that.
Oh, poo.
Anyways, without further ado, let's check out Bhaalspawn's review of Team Fortress 2.
The last few days, I've been spending my small iotas of free time playing Team Fortress 2, mostly because of how much one friend of mine talks about the game like it's the greatest thing since Baldur's Gate.
That's a very poor analogy. Not many people I know of have played, care about, or even heard of Baldur's Gate. You might want to use an example that's universally known. Just a suggestion.
Now, I'm not kind to Valve. I have a history of looking at their games and being highly critical of them, and there's a perfectly good reason for that. Everyone holds Valve in some godlike regard of making masterpieces of video games, yet whenever I play them, I find merely okay games.
Ugh, I feel your pain! I'm having a meeting in my Half-Life 2 is Average clubhouse if you want to come. There's gotta be cake!
Team Fortress 2 is no exception to this, except it doesn't even make average. It's becoming very clear to me that it gets by because it's free to play, and it can say, "We're not Call of Duty," which makes people flock to it as if saying that instantly makes you good.
Okay. As much as I'm with you on the whole stop hating Call of Duty thing, because the haters of Call of Duty are more annoying than the people or issues they complain about, Team Fortress 2 did not get by because people were sick of Call of Duty. It got by because of good business practices, such as including it in the orange box, constant updates of new and free content, constantly listening to user feedback and adjusting accordingly. Oh, and maybe I'm just spitballing here, but a lot of people thought it was a legitimately good game. Ever think of that?
The first thing I noticed right out of the gate is that the mechanics are nearly impossible to get your head around. Most enemy players will be able to blast you into the sky if they so much as look at you, while they can take 70 bullets to the face without so much as turning around.
So, right out of the gate, you're complaining about getting your butt kicked in an exclusively multiplayer online game with people who have played the game for much longer than you have? Did you expect to be a master instantly? Besides, they have tutorial modes, they have servers exclusively for new players, and you can even request a tutor to give you tips and instructions while you play. Or did you just blow those off?
This is mostly due to the microtransaction system granting paying or obsessed players powerful items that can make them resistant to different types of damage, ranged being a common example.
Objection! For a common example, there is a striking lack of weapons in Team Fortress 2 that allow you to take less range damage. Oh, and by lack, I mean there's only one! And it's a melee weapon that protects against ranged damage but doubles melee damage done to you. These weapons are side grades, not upgrades. This is a feature unique to Team Fortress 2. There are no upgrades to weapons, there are only side grades. Okay, there are a few exceptions here or there, but there's nothing game-breaking. Everything has been fine-tuned for balance so that no weapon is overly powerful and everything has a counter.
The game also has a severe problem with class balance. None of the advantages or disadvantages of each class make any difference upon gameplay whosoever. Oh, by Poseidon's oversized beard, get the man an editor!
Hey, we're here to point out flaws in his reasoning, not be grammar Nazis.
I can give literary criticism and goose step however I please.
Can we get on with this?
Every party needs a pooper. That's the reason you exist. Anyway, the Scout is a character designed to move quickly and employ hit-and-run tactics. But all his weapons are so short-range and the slower classes all have splash or area damage weapons that it makes no difference. You have to get in pretty close to hit anyone, and when you do, you're one rocket or flamethrower away from dying instantly.
Well, I don't want to say you just suck with the Scout, because that wouldn't be a fair judgment to make on my part, because I have never seen you play, and therefore I have no way of judging your skills. But I can see where you're coming from. I mean, the Scout isn't the easiest class to master. The Scout has considerably less health than other classes. He requires to get close in order to do some actual damage, and the hitting and running takes some time to get used to. But the thing is, I've seen some pretty beastly Scouts that can easily take out heavies and soldiers and the like, those heavies and soldiers being me. I don't suck!
The Heavy carries a powerful minigun and has a ton of health, but he moves so slowly and is so massive that everyone can just stay out of your effective range and take pot shots from across the map.
Yeah, that's the Heavy's weakness. There's no all-powerful class in Team Fortress 2 that's good at everything. Is there a class in Baldur's Gate that's good at everything? No! It's called balance! What do you want? The Heavy to move faster? Oh, well then, what would be the point of picking a different class? This kind of short-sighted perspective is what causes a lot of imbalance in a lot of modern-day shooters. The classes are supposed to have flaws. The whole point of Team Fortress 2 is to play to each other's strengths and help cover each other's weaknesses.
You totally stole that from Spy Kids.
Shut up!
And all the other classes might as well be made of paper for how long the average lifespan is.
Again, do you want every class in Team Fortress 2 to have a lot of health? Because if that happened, then only the hard-hitting classes would be able to do any good. And are you seriously trying to tell me that the classes of Team Fortress 2 have less health than the classes of Call of Duty or Battlefield?
I wouldn't mind the constant deaths if the game didn't pull the bullshit World of Warcraft style of making you wait 20 seconds to respawn.
Wrong again. You only have long respawn times when you're on defense. On offense, your respawn time is about 3 seconds. This is to compensate for the territorial advantage that defense has. If you're on offense, sure, you got the fast respawn times, but the map is built against you. On defense, sure, you got the long respawn times, but you got a lot of choke points to set up on, and you spawn right next to the objective. It's called balance. But if you want to throw balance completely out the window, there are servers where you can have instantaneous respawn. Just stop being lazy and search for them!
That's another thing. Loading times are a bitch in this game, especially if you're just starting out.
We get it! The guy can't spell! Focus, please!
Fine, sure, whatever. Especially if you're starting out.
Loading screens for me only take 17 seconds. Yeah, I timed it. Do you not have the patience for 17 seconds?
Click icon, launch Steam, sign into Steam, get your confirmation code from your email for the 50th time, launch game, load game, connect to server, download materials, verify, receive address, send client info, click through all the posters and movies, choose team, choose class, wait 2 minutes for the round to start, run in, die, 20-second respawn.
Yeah, nice try. You can make anything sound mundane when you say it like that. Let me do it too! Walk over to shelf, take out case, open case, pull out game, close case, put case back on shelf, turn on console, wait for logo sequence to finish, put game in console, highlight game, wait for intro sequence, press start, select multiplayer, connect to server, get into lobby, jump into game, wait for a timer to reach 0, get killed by a grenade. Furthermore, I did exactly what you did, and it only took me 1 minute and 27 seconds to go from the desktop to playing a game of Team Fortress 2.
I hope you like loading screens, because you're going to be seeing a lot of those for the first 20 hours of playing this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you see a lot of loading screens in the span of 20 hours no matter what game you're playing. And you got your facts mixed up. Unless you're playing on an independent server, official Valve servers cycle through maps about every hour. Of course, via democratic vote, players can declare the next round to be a different map, but that doesn't even happen very often. Besides, there are servers where maps stay the same indefinitely, so the only loading screen you see is one. I don't see your issue!
I went to ask a few other people who do like Team Fortress a whole lot, and they had this to say. Oh, this game is really fresh! Valve keeps everything new and interesting, much better than COD. This game is far more innovative than COD. TF2 is a sign that the games industry doesn't have to stick to grey-brown shooters all the time. Team Fortress is yet another game that got by simply because a lot of people were sick of grey-brown military shooters at the time. And while Team Fortress came out before Modern Warfare, Halo and their kin were around before Team Fortress.
I would have jumped on you for that, but I can see how you arrived at that conclusion. Granted, it's a horribly misinformed conclusion, but I can't really blame you because of the poor feedback you got. But here's my problem with what you said. Are you insinuating that a person cannot like Team Fortress 2 and Call of Duty at the same time? Because that is what your text is telling me. You might not have meant it that way, but that's what your text is telling me. As critics, it is our job as professionals to avoid these kinds of misunderstandings and word ourselves carefully. Granted, it's never going to happen. People are inevitably going to twist our words. But we have to keep trying because it's the professional thing to do. And besides, I love Call of Duty and Team Fortress 2. In fact, I'd have to place Modern Warfare 2 higher than Team Fortress 2 in my top 5 favorite games of all time, and I really think I shouldn't have said that.
No, you really shouldn't have. Shall I prepare the wooden beams and nails for your crucifixion?
Sure, upside down preferably.
It can't stand on its own merits. If the exhaustion of military shooters didn't exist, Team Fortress would have fallen on its face.
No, it would have survived anyways. 1, because Valve has very obnoxious fanboys. 2, it was included in the Orange Box, a collection of 5 games, 3 games for the price of 1. And 3, it's a multiplayer FPS on the PC. Those almost never die. I'm looking at you, Counter-Strike.
And it's even a reskin of what Unreal Tournament has been for over a decade now.
What? Team Fortress 2 and Unreal Tournament are completely different games! Unreal Tournament has vehicles, you have to find your weapons rather than starting out with them. The gameplay is much speedier. Oh, and for a reskin, the engines used to build both are vastly different. Do you know anything about video games?
And its cartoony style is its own execution shot. It loves to do cartoony and wacky things in its promos and in-game dialogue. But because the whole game is designed that way, nothing stands out.
So, by that logic, cartoons are never funny. Well, because of the cartoony art style, anything wacky or whimsical should be expected in a cartoon, making it automatically not funny.
It has no contrast.
Ooh, looks like someone's been looking at his pretentious hipster word-a-day calendar.
Hades here with this special YouTube offer, introducing the pretentious hipster word-a-day calendar. Are you tired of boring, reasonable, unbiased reviews that back up their text with logic? Well, look no further. Every day you can learn brand new words like juxtaposition, pacing, prose. Use these buzzwords in the middle of sentences to make yourself sound smarter even though you have no idea what the f*** you're saying.
Games are supposed to be art. Plebeian titles such as Dynasty Warriors, Halo, or that abomination known as Call of Duty can never be art.
This game is an experience. It's a wonderfully artistic venture and a wonderful commentary on the stark nature of the human condition.
With this special offer, you can get the pretentious hipster word-a-day calendar for $19.95, because $19.99 is too mainstream. Still to this day, the wackiest thing I ever saw in a game was the Tomahawk in Black Ops, because the realistic army shooter... What? Call of Duty Black Ops? A realistic army shooter? Priceless. Suddenly handed me an axe out of nowhere and told me to throw it into someone's nose. You never expected it, so it was kinda hilarious.
Inconsistency in writing here. You say that this is the wackiest thing you've ever seen in a video game, but you only thought it was kinda hilarious? Consistency, please!
Team Fortress doesn't have any kind of contrast to it in that regard.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Every what? Does this man proofread at all? Becomes stale the more you hear it.
And it's not bad in Baldur's Gate, that game you so obviously worship, where you just click on a guy and he spews one of 3 generic phrases over and over. Besides, it's not that bad in Team Fortress.
Need a dispenser here.
Yes, you're hilarious.
And every game mode becomes more and more routine the more you play them. This is that natural course of games, though. Every game with multiplayer or endgame content always grows boring after a while. What with Team Fortress is happened very quickly. At least for me.
And no one blames you for that. Team Fortress 2 isn't for everyone. Granted, I have about 800 hours on the thing, and I've only played Dust Bowl and Man vs. Machine. I barely even scratched the surface, and I've already got 800 hours. I'm going to be playing this game for a long time.
And its modding communities do not help in the slightest, because they can mod the craziest thing into the game, and it doesn't seem out of place. As such, it doesn't have the humor factor.
Oh yes, because modding is all about the humor, and never about things like personalization, or just because it looks cool. It's all about the humor.
If anyone were to ask for my verdict, I'd say don't waste your time. Yeah, the game is free, but if you're like me and you dislike any idea of having Steam on your computer... Well, now I've seen everything.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion. I mean, not everyone has to like the same things.
Team Fortress 2 is not going to be enough to change your mind. Then again, neither was this review.
I agree. In conclusion, Bhaalspawn, you were lazy. Lazy in your judgment of the game, lazy in your playing of the game, and lazy in your writing of the review of it. You resorted to hipster buzzwords, complaining about trivial things, and you downright lied. Yeah, you know those dozens of loading screens you saw for the 20 hours you supposedly played? Well, I looked at your Steam profile. You only played 9, you freaking liar! You barely did any research showing little to no professionalism. Oh, and by the way, EA was the distributor for Team Fortress 2, not the publisher. Just a quick trip to Wikipedia could have told you that, or is that just too much effort? If you don't like Team Fortress 2, that's fine. If you don't like Steam, that's fine. But if you're gonna pass yourself off as a credible source of gaming experience, you need to do your freaking research and, I don't know, make sure you're credible first! Well, at least people aren't asking Bhaalspawn for advice on serious matters, right? Right? No.
Cut!
Interesting note to leave on.
But, Hades, the video's over. We're not supposed to be talking over the credits.
I thought that was an interesting last sentence. Make sure you're credible, huh? Pretty ironic coming from the man that ends a whole video by enraging the entire Okami fanbase.
Hey, that week I just got out of MCT and I was having a bad day. Freaking admin clerks.
Well, how am I so mellow after getting my head punched off and having my body incinerated by an angel that can't even fly?
Hey, I didn't need to take any lift from the flamboyant cousin of Demise from Skyward Sword.
Oh, clever. Sounds like Joshi is scorched out of his mind.
Hades?
Josh.
Hades?
Josh.
Hades?
Josh.
Hades!
But I can see where you're coming from. I mean, the Scout isn't the easiest class to master. He is very slow.